actually find a poem that I thought went really well with the side note for Kairos, which is to consider that evil means unripe. And there's this poem by Ursula K. Le Guin in The Ones Who Walk Away from Amalus. And it states, "The trouble is that we have a bad habit, encouraged by pedants and sophisticates, of considering happiness as something rather stupid, that only pain is intellectual, only evil is interesting. This is the treason of the artist, a refusal to admit the banality of evil and the terrible boredom of pain." I thought that was very fitting. Yeah, one thing that I do really enjoy with Kairos, because it does talk about mythic time, one thing that I find very interesting is like humans have been going through the same things over and over and over again since the very beginning of time. We can look back at like ancient hieroglyphics and we can compare those to like current day memes, and they are ironically exhaustingly similar because humans are constantly caught up in these same cycles and the same behaviors. There is this understanding, this timelessness in human behavior that I've always found quite beautiful, actually, that, you know, I can relate to I can relate to a grandmother of mine that's from, 18 generations ago, because we have the same emotions, we have the same thoughts and feelings and needs and desires, etc., etc. So let's go ahead, let's look into the application of Kairos. I actually want to start off with an animal card. Ooh, interesting that was flipped over. I want to start off with an animal card moving forward. Ooh, we have the horse in reverse. Interesting. And then we have the butterfly in the back of the deck, which I am actually going to keep. So let's get into this. I know that the horse is typically about grounding. I know it's an earth energy. So that's going to be Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus coming out. Let me see if I can pull this up really quickly for you. Okay. Now the horse is about momentum, freedom. It's an expansive energy and force. The horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy in the deck. It provides us with momentum, so reliable, so supportive that you can ride on its back towards any goal, no matter how difficult the terrain. A horse personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practice. Now, when this is out of balance, when it's in reverse, it runs away and it feels weak. So I do get the sense you might be avoiding something, and this might be a cyclical behavior. This might be something that you've done over and over again, this avoidant behavior. And then we have the butterfly to follow that. If I remember correctly, this is often about transformation. Yes, here it is. The butterfly is an air sign energy, so that's going to be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, and that is undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer done at the same time and place, and it will do wonders for lifting the butterfly's spirit. Upright, they are cheerful and graceful. See, I feel like you might be stuck in something, but it's almost like you're happy about that. Interesting. I think because it's changing. I think because you're recognizing that you've been stuck in this cycle. Now, I do talk a lot on my channel about how I am Catholic. However, I follow a very specific sect of Catholicism that I feel like would be important for this reading. I follow a sect that was denominated by 14th century monks who spent all their time not speaking. They spent all their time thinking and writing. And one of the greatest beliefs of these monks is that mortality and earth is a place of both heaven and hell. Like we exist, our choices, our actions, and our mindset lead us into like layers of frequencies, and depending on what choice and action we make, and this extends deep into the mind as well, that leads us into either our own heaven or our own hell. So a good example of this would be like if I decide to do crack tomorrow, you know, that's obviously going to lead me. I'm going to spiral downwards into my own personal hell. And then there is this concept of repentance to get out of it. So it is the active choice to do crack cocaine that brings me into hell. And then the active choice to, you know, quit doing it that would lead me slowly to heaven. But first I have to go through repentance to get to heaven. And that repentance would be like a stage of withdrawal. So with that in mind, I feel like that's what is going on here. Because what I'm seeing, quite literally, is this timelessness, this... It feels like you've been going in a circle with this behavior over and over again that's not really grounded, that's not very solid in your thinking, and it slows you down, it exhausts you. Yeah, because I'm hearing like, God, what is it? Like you didn't just beat the horse to death, you literally beat it into its own grave, like 6 feet under. Like that's how many times that you've gone over this. You know, you've dug its own grave for it. But I see this big change here. So it is like you're making a radical difference. You're making a radical change from your own hell into your own heaven. So let's get some more information. I actually really did like it like this, although I typically don't. Let's go ahead. Let's check it out with my chakra oracle deck here. Ooh, we have vanity. Interesting. Yeah, you might be concerned about the way that things look, or maybe the way someone else is perceiving you. And I think that's preventing your growth in this situation. Yeah, it's doing you a disservice. There needs to be more balance in this situation. Interesting. I actually want to go ahead and put back on my background music because I turned it off on accident when I wanted to pull up that poem about the banality of evil. And if you don't know what banality means, it means boredom, right? So it's about the boredom of evil, of how exhausting it is, how boring it is to kind of go through these cycles over and over and over again, and how it's doing you a disservice. It's like an evil to you. Let's go ahead. Let's get some situations out here to get some clearer information. Yeah, we have the hamster wheel. There it is, and I'm not even going to take this as like surviving at the daily hustle. It literally is like a hamster wheel in your own mind. It's like a self-created hell. Oh. Verge, yeah, and I feel like you're just about to change. Okay, I'm going to pop this right underneath the butterfly because that's about undergoing great change and transformation. So about to reveal and confess. I feel like it's so funny. I actually saw this video quite recently of this chinchilla on a hamster wheel, and the chinchilla, like, they're like running and running and running, and then very suddenly they jump off and they like stare at the camera. And it's only funny because of like the radical change of like this chinchilla that's going quite quickly on this hamster wheel, and then is suddenly just right in front of you, in front of the camera. So that's kind of the energy that it gives me. We have focused, eyes for you, fascinated and watching. You might have been analyzing this. I feel like you're gonna have a breakthrough moment where you recognize like, oh, going around in this hamster wheel isn't helping me. I need a change. I need to do something. Ooh, this might be in regards to a divine feminine. Interesting. Or maybe you are my divine feminines. Either way, we have a beautiful feminine energy in the house. Interesting. What else do I want to get here? I think I'm going to go with the theme. Let's grab a theme really quickly. Answers. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, and on the back of the deck, I have my courage, my lion here. This kind of reminds me of the Venom card that we did earlier maybe last week. The Venom card, it reminds us that when the Buddha found enlightenment, he roared a great roar, like a lion. I feel like you're about to speak your truth because you can't handle going through I feel like you can't handle the mental disdain. I feel like that it's almost hurting you. It's almost causing you to kind of hate yourself. Not hate yourself, but it's causing this dislike of yourself. And I feel like You know the answer at this point. I feel like you know that the only answer here is to speak your truth and to speak up, to get out of this hamster wheel, to get out of this cyclical behavior. Because you might feel like it's been ages, like it's been forever that you've been going through this and you can't handle it anymore. Yeah, this feels like this could be a very long situation with someone else. This could be like someone that you've known for like a decade and you've been hiding your feelings or hiding what you're feeling about the situation. Maybe because you're scared of what they might say or how you might come off or how they might think of you. But there is this great need for like almost like a very radical, and that keeps coming up for me. So the word radical, it's like there is this need for this radical change. It's almost like a boldness that just flies out of you. So I want to get some emotions here before we move on into the tarot. Oh, we have teamwork. Beautiful. Let me get one more. And we also have kindness coming out. Interesting. I like how they're both reaching their hands out. I feel like kindness does encourage cooperation and teamwork, actually. That's one thing that I've learned, is that the kinder that I am in a situation, the more likely it is that someone else is going to be willing to work with me. On the back of the deck, I do have criticism. So I feel like this is that vanity that's coming out, where it's like you might be concerned or you might be worried of someone else's thoughts. But is that really your business? That's something that my grandmother used to say to me, my grandma Susie. She was actually brought up quite a bit in the Venom reading from last week. My grandma Susie used to say that to me all the time. She'd go, what other people think of you, it's simply not your business. So you need to shut up and mind your own. Like, instead of trying to figure out what everyone else thinks of you and going for this external validation, you need to mind your own business and be your own source of validation. And my grandmother used to say that to me all the time, and it always stuck with me, because she'd always go, like, shut up and mind your own. And she was so right with that. Oh my goodness, because I have never once given a shit what other people have thought about me. And it's actually, it kind of reminds me of this time I was seeing this guy, and we got into an argument about something really stupid, and he was yelling at me, and he's like yelling in my face, and he's like, you're so effing weird, Jordan. And I remember I hadn't said much, but my like head snapped to him, and I very calmly was like, I know, and I like it that way. I like that I'm weird. You're not going to change me. And for me, that was a very like empowering moment. It was this like beautiful divine feminine energy where I was just like, I know. And I'm okay with it. Like, I like it that way. And you know, that's something that a lot of the modern day Catholics in my family don't like. Like, I have a lot of tattoos, right? Like, a lot of tattoos. And so they'll look at me and they'll be like, you need to get rid of those. And for me, it's like, absolutely not. I actually really like the fact that I have tattoos, because for me, it's like a sense of self-expression. And I've dealt with a lot of guys who want me to get rid of them, or who are uncomfortable with me getting more of them. And to me, that is very much about like this sense of controlling my body. With the same guy who like yelled at me and was like, you're so effing weird. I remember one time he was like, he had like grabbed my leg and he was like, we're gonna have to get you on birth control. And I've never felt such an instant ick in my entire life. Because what do you mean we? What do you mean we? What? No, this is not your body. And so it's like that kind of like ego, that vanity energy was really showing with him, where like he was just kind of taking full control over like my physicality, and that was something that I was really uncomfortable with. But this was something that, you know, he had done with multiple other people, and that's why he felt entitled to do so, because this was a cyclical behavior of his that had been allowed previously. And I was just like, no, I'm not gonna be doing that. Actually, I would rather just not sleep with you then. It's actually that simple. Like, that is an option, you know. That's the secret third option in this situation. Yeah, there's a lot here about, I feel like almost as if you need to recognize your own self-worth in order to speak up And maybe, like, I know that I just shared, like, 5 different stories of me being, like, really, really bold and being like, "No, I'm not gonna do what you ask," but that's because I'm a very, individualistic person, and I feel very, very firm in my individuality, and I have very much fought tooth and nail to not have that taken away from me in any form. In fact, I feel as if when that is taken away from me, it almost removes this teamwork, because then it becomes this like this independency, right? Where like with that partner who was like, we have to get you on birth control. Like that removes this teamwork completely, because then it's just him making decisions for my body. That's no longer like a cooperative endeavor, because that's not something that I wanted. He wasn't being considerate of what my needs, what my wants were within that. But that's where kindness comes in, you know, because the real kind thing for him to have done in that situation was to be like, oh, like, is this something that you would consider because it would make me feel more comfortable? That would have been like the more kind or cooperative way to word that request, instead of making it a demand and an expectation for me, which was something that, again, I will fight tooth and nail about, because absolutely not are you going to be the one making medical decisions for my body. No, thank you. Absolutely not. Yeah. I do feel like you've been kind of obsessive about a situation here, so I do want to go ahead and get into some tarot to see if we can get some more answers for that. Alrighty, because we're talking about mythic things, I thought I'd use my mystical mythic deck. This is like a Halloween deck, but that's okay. Let's get some more answers. What's going on with my Kairos pile? What's going on with my Kairos collective? Oh yeah, we have my Two of Cups. That's often a soulmate energy with love. But with my Emperor being in reverse, it might feel like things are out of control. Things are a bit chaotic at this time. I'm hearing not my monkeys, not my circus. Interesting. My Nine of Swords, that's all about paranoia, and an exhausting form of paranoia at that. That's like that cyclical, like mental, I'm hearing mental mind fuck. I'm specifically hearing it from Rocky Horror Picture Show, where I think Dr. Frankenfurter is like a mental mind fuck. I don't know, that's weird. That's interesting. I wonder why I'm hearing that. Interesting. We have my Seven of Cups. This is often about fulfillment, but more importantly, while it does talk about soul fulfillment, it really does highlight options and choices, which brings me back to what I had spoken about in the beginning with Kairos, where it's like, you know, my religious beliefs are of that we make our own heaven or hell on earth, right? And you don't have to believe in that, but there is some amount of truth to it where, you know, the consequences of our actions, which consequence is not a naturally negative word, although we often connotate it as that. Consequence it just means the natural result or outcome of a situation, right? So the consequences can be positive or negative, and I want you to keep that in mind. It does very much feel like you're being given, I feel like you're kind of zooming out. You're seeing the big picture rather than this vanity card that we had. Yeah, rather than seeing like the shallow aspects of things, I feel like you're going to be able to zoom out in a situation and see the bigger picture here, see all the options that you have available to kind of get you out of whatever mental hellscape that you're trapped in. Whatever's been keeping you in this loop, you're going to be able to zoom out and see, okay, well, actually, you know, instead of doing crack again, I do have the option to get into a rehab and to get clean, or I do have the option to, you know, reach out to a friend and stay with them and have them force me to get clean, for example. Doesn't have to be. You don't have to be doing crack. I'm just using that as like an extremist example for the concept of what hell might be like, because I've never met someone who was addicted to drugs who post addiction was like, yeah, that was a great choice. I really enjoyed that time period of my life. No, I've never met someone like that. I've only ever met post addicts who look back and they go, wow, I really can't believe I was acting like that. I really can't. I am not like that at all anymore. Like, I'm really grateful and glad that I was able to get out of that. But that repentance form of like withdrawal, you know, has to come with it. So this is kind of giving, like Anubis's scales, where it's like weighing your heart against a feather. that type of energy. So I feel like you're kind of weighing the pros and cons of the options available in this situation. But I'm concerned that you might be overly looking at the negatives of a situation because your current situation feels chaotic and negative. And I feel like this is all to do with love. Like this is to do with a partner of some form, someone that you would consider a soulmate. But things just feel out of control here. I feel like this has been going on for a while as well. Yeah, you're struggling to walk away. With my Chariot in reverse, my Chariot is often about travel. There's a lot of Cancerian energy going on here, a lot of water energy. Because we have Scorpio, we have Cancer, we have Gemini, we have Aries. Interesting. I feel like you're struggling to walk away, and not even just that, you're struggling to see all of the positive. Yeah, because I'm seeing this tower in the background here. I feel like you're really struggling to see the positive in this situation, but there is like a lot of positive in this situation. There are a lot of options at your disposal that could really help and assist you and kind of move you towards this like heaven, but I feel like you're not willing to do that because of the potential of negativity. It's almost like you're not willing to accept any more misery, even if that misery is like for the benefit of you. Ooh, okay, we have 2. Oh, we have 3. We have my Ace of Pentacles in reverse. We have my King of Wands in reverse. And we have my 7 of Wands in reverse. Okay, oof. I've got Judgment in reverse. Oof. And I have my Knight of Pentacles. Okay, that's good. I see that. With my Magician in reverse, yeah, that's good. That's fine. I can handle that. Okay, let's start off with this Ace of Pentacles and this King of Wands here. Yeah, you're not seeing an option. Like, you have all these options available to you, and you will at some point zoom out to see them and to choose them. But right now, every option that you look at, you almost assign this negative connotation to. Like, it only has negative consequences. I'm like shaking my leg really badly. I don't usually do that. There's this anxiety. It almost kind of reminds me of this, because we're talking about Kairos, we're talking about like timelessness. It almost kind of reminds me of someone who can't wait, you know? Like you're trying to find the fastest, the easiest, the simplest solution just to get out, to escape. But it almost, I'm seeing like a dog, right? Like trying to get out of a crate. And because they're so jittery, so excited to get out of the crate, instead of doing anything that might actually be helpful or might help them get out of the crate, the solution is to like stick their head through the top of the bars, and now their head is like stuck, and they're like whimpering because they can't get themselves unstuck. And that's kind of the energy that this is giving me, is it's like you might jump too quickly at a solution that actually isn't the right one for you. And that's going to make you feel even more out of control in this situation. It actually might lead to a lot of external conflict as well. It might cause issues externally and internally that you aren't able to control. So it almost feels like this energy of like being ganged up on. Yeah, this is due to like poor judgment. Yeah, potentially like an act of self-betrayal. This could be out of loneliness because you feel like you can't speak up. That's what it is. It's that you feel like you can't speak up. So you feel very alone in this endeavor in trying to fix things. Yeah. But the truth is that there needs to be a radical change here. There needs to be this moment where you decide that like enough is enough, and that things are going to change from this point forward because they have no other choice to, because you don't allow them the choice to, and that they can't go negatively either. You know, like I know I keep bringing back addiction, so maybe addiction is a factor here, but in every phase with an addict, every life cycle of an addict, I should say, in every single life cycle of an addict, there is either a moment where they go, okay, enough is enough, this is it, this is my last bowl, this is my last hit, this is my last drink, this is my last smoke, etc., or they die, right? And death is like a different type of, it doesn't have to be, Well, I guess they die anyways. Because if we take death in a metaphorical sense, that could be like rebirth, renewal, right? That old version of you is dead. Like that version of you that smoked cigarettes, or that version of you that smoked crack, or that version of you that drank alcohol. They died, right? Because they no longer do that. So there does have to be this moment of like, all right, I'm done. And I feel like this will save you. I feel like in doing that, it will really save your finances specifically. Because right now, it does feel like you're fighting against time. You're fighting against yourself. You're fighting against your finances. Like, it feels like everything is up against you. It feels like things are out of control. Like, you don't have any resources. There's nothing left to use. And I feel like again, in the life cycle of every single addict, they reach this point where there was nothing left for them. They have no more money, they have nowhere to stay, they have no friends, you know, they've got no family, they've got no support. In the life cycle of every addict, they do hit this kind of, you know, this dead end, this brick wall, where there's nothing left. There's just nothing left for them to use. Interesting. I feel like you're kind of going at it without a plan, actually. I feel like it's going to be a very slow moving energy, but you'll go at it without a plan, which might be more painful for you in the end. Maybe you're addicted to this person. Maybe this is like a toxic cycle with a person that you're just addicted to, but you can't see your life with anybody else. Maybe that's why I keep referencing to addiction. Maybe that's why you can't walk away, because you don't see any other option. And I've done that. I've been with people where it's like they have straight up told me where they're like, oh, you'll never find someone like me. And it's like, oh, I really hope I don't. Like, later on, I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm really glad that I never met someone like you again, because like dating you was a horrible judgment on my end. It was a huge act of self-betrayal on my end. And I feel like without this person, your finances would do a lot better. I feel like you wouldn't be fighting yourself so much. You wouldn't be fighting your circumstances so much, actually. Because you might feel like the odds are stacked against you. I'm seeing the Hunger Games where it's like, may the odds ever be in your favor. You might feel like they're stacked against you. So you don't see a way out. You don't see an option. All you see is this tower falling. But that's not the truth of the situation. The truth of the situation is that if you make the radical change to speak up, and you make the radical change to walk away, to get out of the situation, things would change very heavily. Yeah, look at this. We have Cancer, 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 and then we have Leo, Leo. Leo, 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 Leo. And I would say that the difference between Cancer and Leo is Cancer tends to be this almost, it's a very emotional, but I would say quiet energy. Cancer tends to be very subtle with their emotional outbursts, right? Like they'll burst into tears, whereas Leo is very opposite of that. They will just scream in your face. Leo is a very bold energy. They are going to say exactly what's on their mind. I'm like shaking my leg again, bringing up this fire energy. Maybe this person makes you anxious, or they make you feel like time's ticking by too slowly with them. Interesting. There's this very strange addictive energy that I want to kind of dive into a bit deeper here. This one's going to be a long one, guys. I'm sorry. We'll get into charms next, but I want to get some more information because I'm curious, and most importantly, I'm nosy. Let's go ahead and get in with this deck, because this deck does really well with addiction energies. So let's look at the Two of Cups and the Emperor in reverse. Oh, we have my Four of Cups. Okay. Interesting. Wishing, wanting, yearning. I feel like you want change, but you don't know where that's going to come from. You don't know how to start that. But I feel like you are ignoring the fact that it can come from you. That you can be the change in this situation. That it's not hopeless, you know? We have the Chariot upright, yeah. And honestly, to be totally honest, the way that you change the situation is by walking away from it. Look at it. It says on the bottom, he can kill the master, the servant, and all assistants. The sower of discord, the slayer of men. So I do feel as if, when we were talking about death earlier, how the life cycle of an addict is that eventually they do die. Whether that's, a physical death, like they end up in an actual grave, or that version of them that allowed themselves to to do that drug or to be involved in that addiction, that version of themselves dies, right? And they are reborn into somebody new, somebody different, somebody who would not do that. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here is I feel like you're going to dead this situation. You're going to kill this situation. That's really the only, I feel like you were put in this situation to do this, to learn that you have the power to not only speak up, but to walk away as well. You don't have to wait to be released. You're not that dog in that crate who's got its head stuck between the bars. Although you might, because with all this Cancer energy, you might feel like you are. We have the Star in reverse. Yeah, there's no way that you can heal in this situation at all. This feels like, what is the quote where it's like, you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick? I feel like that's one of the things that you need to recognize, is that you need to walk away from the situation in order to heal. Can move from place to place. Can cause love or hate, can make one ignorant and without sense. And that might be what it's been here. Is like you've been going over these options, but you only look at the negative ones. So it's like it almost makes you ignorant to the positivity in the situation, to how good your life could be in this situation. This feels like a karmic partner. We have my 5 of Cups, and that's being followed by my Emperor. I feel like you need to spend some time alone. And I feel like in spending some time alone, it would reveal a lot of secrets about this situation. Like, it's almost like you would have these aha moments or these revelations about what's actually been going on in this situation that right now you just kind of overlook. I have Strength in the 3 of Swords. This is extremely telling. My Strength card in reverse is all about ego, right? Builds towers or destroys stone walls. Builds towers, right? You were focusing too heavily on these like negative aspects of the situation because that's your ego, right? You might be doing this that's why I keep tapping my leg, because I'm anxious, and I think you are like almost worst case scenarioing things out of anxiety because you're scared to walk away because you don't have a plan yet, and you're worried about heartbreak. There's so much about heartbreak. Yeah, but I feel like it's going to happen quicker than you think. I feel like regardless, just like in the life cycle of an addict, like no addict actually wants to quit. They are typically forced to, either because they are going to die physically or because they have to die metaphorically. Because that ego has to die. Oh my goodness. Interesting stuff. I actually really want to get... I've never pulled Oracle on top of my tarot because I don't like that setup, but I would love to get some Oracle here because I want to get a message from Spirit. What is this? What's going on? What do they need to know? Okay, thank you. Submission, yeah. I feel like you've been submissive in this situation for far too long. You've let someone else make all the decisions for you, and it's kind of trapped you in this hellscape. Let's get a couple more, 1 or 2, please. Soon. Yeah, like I said, things are changing. And I don't think you're ready for it. I'm going to be honest with you, babe. I don't think that you are. I don't think that the death in this situation that you are about to experience, I don't think that you are ready for it. Because I don't think you consider this to be a viable option. But I need you to think about what life would be like outside of this situation, or without this situation, or without this person. Or without maybe, I'm not picking up that it's a drug. I do get the sense that this is someone or something that you love that is a very addictive force to you. But it runs you in like this very negative cycle. Karmic message. I told you, this person feels like a karmic partner. They feel very, very karmic to me. I did not like that energy at all. Yeah. And I feel like without them, you'll experience happiness. I feel like walking away from them, which I don't think you'll have a choice. I feel like Source, because we have happiness and Source directly under that, I feel like Source is kicking this person out of your life. Or I can see them like literally physically ripping. It's like taffy is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like a Laffy Taffy, like physically ripped in half. And it's almost like doesn't really want to separate correctly, so it's like spindly and sticking. But I see Spirit like ripping it apart because they can't handle this anymore. The situation is killing you both. Yeah, we have spiritual message in the middle of the deck with communication behind that. I feel like you're going to get hit with a big download about the situation after it happens, about why it needed to happen. And I feel like your eyes are going to be like ripped open to what's been going on here and why Spirit had to separate you. Wow, this is crazy. This is a crazy read. I want to go ahead and get into some charms. Alright, I'm going to kick off this with a channeled song for this pile. Just one, please, Spirit. Oh, goodness. We have Today by Smashing Pumpkins, which is about depression and suicidal ideation. Tomorrow is much too long. I might not have that long. I tried so hard to cleanse these regrets. Interesting. Yeah, I do feel like that soon energy. I feel like you might be really depressed, honestly, because this situation is very stressful. It's very toxic. And I feel like you're going to be in the future. You'll look back at this and be like in awe that you dealt with it at all. Here on the back of the deck, I have Ain't It Fun by Paramore, which is all about maturing and a wake-up call. Ain't it fun living in the real world? Don't go crying to your mama. Ain't it good being all alone? Behind that, I have You Were Right by Man Gordon. Interesting. Interesting. I'd like to get some zodiac signs. We had a lot of zodiac signs here. We had air signs with Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We had earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We had a lot of Leo. We had extremely heavy Cancerian energy. And actually, ironically, before I even shuffle, we have Cancer energy on the back. So let's go ahead. Let's get... Oh. Well, thank you, Spirit. We have the Wolf Totem. Beware of letting your wilder instincts spin out of control. Yeah, I feel like whatever ending is going to happen here, I feel like you need to accept. But I also feel like you need to really speak your truth in order to get the true closure that you need in this situation. That doesn't mean scream in their face, but I think it does mean telling them truthfully how you feel before you walk away, so that way you don't come back to it. I'm hearing like burn the bridge so you can't cross it again. Interesting. Very interesting. And then we have Moon in Taurus. Now is the time for focusing on finances and practical matters. Oh, we also had Aries energy as well. Interesting. That's so funny because I cut it and we have Aries energy on the back. But we had Aries energy with the second card that was there in the tarot. I want to get some self-care for you because I feel like you're going to need it very soon. I feel like you're a bit swept up in like this negative wave. You've connect with your ancestors, number 14. You know, I did bring up my Grandma Susie in this, where it's like, it doesn't matter what other people think about you, so shut up and mind your own. So I do feel as if maybe it is like a grandparent who's been watching over you and has been watching this situation and is going to force this to be torn apart because it's just not right for you. It's hurting you. All right, let's keep going. 1 or 2, please. We have Dream Journal number 20 coming out. Yeah, you might get some downloads. I said that. You might get some downloads right after it happens in your sleep. And I actually am kind of seeing you traveling or getting away from this situation. Interesting. Maybe that third eye being brought up a second time. Maybe your ancestors are going to help you travel to a place where you can learn more about yourself or where you can kind of relax, get away from this situation. I feel like they'll help you and assist you if you ask for that. I'm going to get some affirmations because I feel like you're caught up in some really nasty negative wavelengths and I don't like that for you. So let's grab an affirmation. Let's just get 1 or 2, please, Spirit. Today I am kind. Today I will make this day count. I will do something kind for someone. And remember that someone can be you. You can do something kind for yourself. That is completely acceptable. Let's get 1 or 2 more. Let's just get 1 more, actually. Oh, we got 2 more. We have Today I choose. Today I will only surround myself with people who support me. And we also have Today I am free of drama. Today I will let go of the people that do not support me and only surround myself with positive people That's actually so funny that these two came out together. I actually kind of want it like this. Thumbnail. Sorry. Wow, how interesting. Okay. And I am gonna get just one message from the universe. Wow, my right ear is like going off. Quiet your mind. Yeah, I feel like your internal monologue's really, really negative, so I feel like you need to get around people who can help you reset that. My heart is open to love. And you need to meditate on that. What kind of love do you want? Do you really want to be with someone who puts you through these addictive cycles? Because I feel like this is something that's been going on for a very long time. And it's almost like you can't remember life before it or without it. And I think Spirit is trying to make you realize that this was never what you were meant for. You were meant for so much more than this. And the fact that you have kind of caged yourself, you've leashed yourself to this situation, it's a disservice to yourself. And Spirit is not allowing it anymore. They can't. Let's go ahead and get some charms. If you are noise sensitive, now would be a good time to lower the volume as this can get a little bit loud. Alrighty. Ooh, I almost dropped my whole bowl. Okay. I'm just going to zoom in there. Thank you guys for being patient. I know I just kind of jerked you around a little bit, but alrighty. Interesting. So the first message that I have is that friends long absent are coming back to you. Lucky number 18, 30, 45, 33, 20, and 6. See, I feel like getting away from this person or this addictive situation. Maybe you're going to go stay with friends to get away from this situation, but I feel like you have a lot of support that you can't see yet. Maybe you've been isolated by this person, because narcissists will do that. Narcissists will like intentionally isolate you from friends and family in order to like prevent you from getting help, or to prevent you from feeling like you can get help, or even realizing what's actually going on in the situation. Because I was with someone, I had like moved out to them. They were not narcissistic, but they had some tendencies, as we all do. We all have narcissistic tendencies. And they heavily isolated me from all of my friends and family. In fact, the only friends that I had were their friends that they had actually isolated themselves from. And I would talk to their friends about it, and they'd be like, hey, this sounds really messed up, actually. And I'd be like, really? You think so? Like, I remember I went to one of their friends, and I was like, you know, they're posting nude pictures of other women, like, all the time, and it, like, really hurts my feelings. And the friend, like, their friend was like, hey, that's, like, cheating. Like, I would consider that cheating. That would really hurt me. I am shocked that you don't say anything about this. And I was like, well, I don't really know how to. And so I like mentioned it to my partner, and they were like, well, I had no idea that like that was wrong. You know, I just wanted to like post another girl's tits publicly. I don't see why you should have an issue with this. And my friend was like, their friend was sitting there and being like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, like that's not okay. And you know that. And that friend really taught me like that I needed to stand up for myself more, and I needed to be more, because it really did hurt me. It really did hurt me. And so they really did help me, they emboldened me to stand up for my own needs in that relationship. All right. But yeah, I do feel like friends long absent are coming back to you. So if you do feel like you need support, yeah, you can reach out to people who will support you. That was coming up quite a lot, actually, in these affirmations. We have my Queen of Cups here. I feel like you have so much love to give, and you were not, that was not reciprocated to you. I almost feel like all the love that you have was kind of drained out of you, and you were left with like a barren field afterwards, you know? Like someone harvested all of your love from you and left you with nothing to plant more. And I feel like you're getting away from this situation. You're going to go towards people who are actually who are not just takers. We have keep smiling and stay positive. Yes, you need to stay positive at this time. We actually have it twice here because we also have smile more and radiate positivity. And not most of the cards in my daily affirmation cards are completely different. So to get 2 of these is nuts. There is this real big need to stay and to focus more on the positive side of things. Yeah, you might feel very jealous, or not even. I actually kind of feel like this partner kind of sends evil eye at you, because I'm looking at this first one, right? And then it's almost like an extension of the original. So I'm getting the sense that this person sees you as an extension of themselves. So they feel like they can control you. And that's just not the truth. And that's also not okay. That's really messed up to think that another human being is just like your own puppet or your pet. That's what I keep coming back to. It's like this pet energy, like that dog in that crate with its head stuck between the wires. Like that's kind of, it very much gives me like this person might treat you like you're a pet, but they're a bad owner. They're a neglectful owner. And so I feel like they will send you evil eye when you get out of this situation. I feel like they're so jealous if you do better without them. They would be super jealous. Yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of death coming towards the situation. And not even that, I feel like it's being forced by ancestors. I feel like ancestors are stepping in here because this is not an okay situation. The situation feels, I don't want to say abusive because I don't channel abusive energies, if I'm being honest, but it feels like it's unhealthy. It feels very unhealthy for your life, for your circumstances. Yeah, I see you packing your things. Because what is that old quote where it's like, you need to get all your stuff, put it in a bag, like get all your shit together and put it in a bag and then put that bag on your back. Just so you have all your, I'm seeing like you get all your shit together and leave. I have my auspicious elephant here. This is all about wisdom. This can also talk about like a download that's going to help you. Like you'll get you're going to receive a message from your spirit guides that's going to tell you the way forward or the path forward. We also have my angels here. Angels are watching over me. Oh, look at that shine. That's gorgeous. Yeah, I do feel like angels are watching over you at this time, making sure that you're okay. I feel like your whole spirit team is working to get you out of this situation because it's not okay anymore. We have brown hair. Someone, you or them, might have brown hair. And now we'll get into my initials. We have J, so Jack, Jill, Jordan, James, Jamie, Janet, Jasmine, Jace, JC, Jacqueline, Jacqueline, Jane, Jeff, Jeffrey, Jazz. I have an X, so Xander, Xavier, Javier. We have a C, Carl, Caroline, Caleb, Carrie, Cassandra, Cassie, Catherine, Kathy, Caitlin, Katie, Kate, Callie, Calliope. Interesting. Oh, we have another X here, so that's maybe this person's going to be an X soon. Yeah, I did talk about some X's here as well. We have I, so Isaac, Ian, India, Ismo, Isaiah. I don't know many I names. Ingle, Izzy, Isabella, Isabel. Alrighty. Let me grab an angel number too. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. I was so anxious this entire reading. My heartbeat has been like pounding out of my chest. I almost forgot your angel number. So we have 1, 1, ooh, 9. No. I'm seeing 911. Yeah, I feel like your angels are calling 911. And I'm also hearing somebody call 911. Shorty's doing something on the dance floor. Whoa. I don't know why I'm hearing that. How interesting. But yeah, 911. Interesting. You can go into your... It keeps trying to give me 611 too, but you can go into your search engine and type in 911 angel number meaning, and that'll be your message from spirit today. Maybe you'll need to call 911, and that's what's gonna like be like the tower moment of this situation where like everything falls apart. I believe this is my south node coming out. Am I right about that? This might be my north node. This is my north node. Okay. Yeah, this feels like a past life connection, like a karmic past life connection that you had to learn, you had to go through. I've got Pisces coming out as well. I feel like it's the ending of a situation because Pisces is the end of the zodiac. From Aries to Pisces. How interesting, because we had heavy Aries energy as well in the beginning of this. So from Aries to Pisces, you might feel like you've lived a whole lifetime with this person. And that might be why it feels so hard to let it go. But you really haven't gained anything from being in this situation. If anything, it's kind of drained you of who you are. It's taken away your individuality. And it's time for you to let go, is what I'm seeing. Alrighty, well thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed doing your reading. If you can let me know down in the comments what this message for your angel number was. I love reading all the different messages that everyone gets because every message is different. Let me know how this resonates down in the comments as well, because this was a particularly intense read. Well, thank you so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!